Welcome to my channel. Just close your eyes and listen. Forgotten Indian king vertical bar, Skanda Gupta vertical bar, the last great emperor of the Gupta dynasty. Skanda Gupta, one of the last great emperors of the Gupta dynasty, occupies a unique place in the history of ancient India. Reigning from approximately 455 to 467 CE, Skanda Gupta is celebrated for his valiant defense against the Huna, also known as the White Huns, invasions and for momentarily reviving the strength of a waning empire. His reign marked both a high point of resistance and a somber prologue to the decline of classical India's most glorious empire. This is the full legacy of Skanda Gupta, his wars, reforms, administration, cultural impact, and enduring influence. The Gupta Empire, founded by Sri Gupta and expanded by Samudra Gupta and Chandra Gupta II, became one of the most prosperous and culturally vibrant empires in Indian history. Under their reign, arts, sciences, mathematics, and literature flourished. This period is often referred to as the Golden Age of India. By the early 5th century, however, internal challenges and growing external threats, especially from Central Asian tribes like the Huns, started to weaken the imperial fabric. Administrative complexity, dynastic rivalries, and an overstretched military also contributed to vulnerabilities. Skanda Gupta was likely the son of Kumara Gupta I, though historical records, including inscriptions, indicate a possible succession conflict. Some scholars speculate that Skanda Gupta had to assert his claim to the throne by defeating internal rivals, possibly even half-brothers. Before his official coronation, Skanda Gupta had already begun defending Gupta territories. His early campaigns in Gujarat and western India likely established his reputation as a capable warrior and administrator. The Hunas were a branch of Central Asian nomads related to the Hephthalites. Known for their cavalry and brutal tactics, they had already laid waste to parts of Central Asia and Persia by the time they turned their attention to India. Skanda Gupta faced the Hunas during the first wave of their invasion into India. This incursion likely took place around 455 to 460 CE, when the Huns tried to push through the northwestern frontiers, particularly in present-day Punjab and Rajasthan. The Junagadh inscription refers to Skanda Gupta's confrontation with the Pushyamitras, whom scholars identify with the Hunas. He led a large army, comprising elephants, cavalry, and infantry, and scored a decisive victory that repelled the invasion. This battle was not merely a military success, it had enormous civilization implications. Had the Hunas succeeded, India's cultural continuity might have been severely disrupted. While victorious, the Gupta treasury was drained. War expenditures, combined with disruptions in trade and agriculture due to raids, led to economic stress. This is reflected in the debasement of coinage and reduced artistic patronage during and after Skanda Gupta's reign. To stabilize the empire, Skanda Gupta introduced several administrative reforms. These likely included tax restructuring, military conscription, and localized governance to ensure efficiency. He focused on maintaining the authority of the central government while also empowering regional governors. Despite fiscal limitations, Skanda Gupta continued the Gupta tradition of religious tolerance and patronage. He supported Hinduism, especially Vaishnavism, but did not suppress Buddhism or Jainism. Temples were maintained, and public works such as water reservoirs and roads were undertaken. Skanda Gupta is remembered primarily for his military courage. He was not merely a defender of territory, but a protector of the cultural and philosophical ethos of India. His victory over the Hunas preserved the Indian heartland from becoming a war-torn zone, as had happened in parts of Europe and Central Asia. Unfortunately, Skanda Gupta's reign was also the twilight of Gupta's greatness. After his death around 467 CE, the empire gradually disintegrated. Later, Guptas lacked his vision and martial skills. The Hunas returned in later waves and managed to carve out principalities in the northwest. Skanda Gupta's example of resistance inspired later Indian rulers. His story served as a template for kings like Harshavardhana, and later Prithviraj Chauhan, who also opposed foreign invasions. Skanda Gupta's exploits are primarily known through inscriptions, such as those at Junagadh and Bateri. These inscriptions portray him as a heroic and pious king who restored dharma and order, while contemporary literary works don't elaborate much on his reign. Modern historians have begun reassessing his pivotal role. There's a renewed interest in Skanda Gupta in contemporary times. Schools are beginning to include his legacy in historical curricula. Documentaries, books, and social media campaigns aim to restore his place among India's national heroes. You know, while Samudra Gupta expanded the empire through conquest, Skanda Gupta preserved it through resistance. It's interesting, isn't it? Samudra Gupta was a builder. Skanda Gupta was a protector. Chandra Gupta II ruled during times of prosperity, whereas Skanda Gupta faced adversity. Despite this, both were great patrons of Indian culture and effective rulers. Quite fascinating, don't you think? Few rulers in history have faced such overwhelming odds and emerged victorious without compromising the values of their civilization. In this, Skanda Gupta stands almost alone. Skanda Gupta's reign is the story of a man who held the line when the tide threatened to drown a civilization. He was not just a king, he was a guardian of India's golden age. His life embodies resilience, duty, and sacrifice. Though his victories couldn't permanently prevent the Gupta Empire's decline, they did preserve India's cultural soul during one of its most vulnerable moments. In honoring Skanda Gupta, we don't just remember a ruler. We pay tribute to the spirit of Bharat, which refuses to bow, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Thank you for listening. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.